Hey guys, Gary, grateful recovering alcoholic and drug addict. Coming to you from Austin, Texas today. It's Thanksgiving Day, and I'm visiting my son and his girlfriend for Thanksgiving. We're going to go out to dinner. But this is part 2 of step 5. So I left off with, I haven't been doing a lot of inventories lately because I haven't been really bound up about anything lately. And I believe that's because the better I do the first 3 steps, the better I work the first three steps. Just coming to the realization, when I, in the morning, I review the first 3 steps. My name is Gary. I'm an alcoholic, and my life's unmanageable. Do I believe that there's a power greater than myself that could guide me through this life, restore me to sanity? Absolutely. And then I pray to God. God, I offer myself to Thee to build with me and do with me as Thou will. Relieve me of the bondage of self. Relieve me of the bondage of self. And I think about those words. Relieve me of the bondage of self so that I may better do Thy will. I can't really do God's will too well if I'm bound up in self, thinking about me, what I need to get, what I'm afraid I'm going to lose. Me. And believe me, I don't do it perfectly. But my point was, the better I do them, the less I'm working an inventory step. Step 4, step 5, step 10. So the other thing I wanted to say about my sponsor, I'd given you some basic stuff about his character. And what really attracted me to this guy, this was probably, I was just in awe about it, is he made Alcoholics Anonymous his number 1 priority in life. And he knew that if he didn't do AA first, he couldn't have anything else. He couldn't have a partner in life. He couldn't have friendships. He couldn't have a home. He couldn't have a job. He couldn't run a company. The list just goes on. Because I knew this about him. He was a complete fucking whack job while he was on drugs and alcohol, just like I am. And I would be at his office or something like that, and he would answer the phone no matter what. He'd be in a meeting, with a board meeting or something like that with 20 people, and the phone call would come in, and he would answer the phone, and he would always answer his phone. No matter where he was, he would always answer. You knew he was going to answer his phone, because no matter where he was, he answered his phone. Even if it was, "Are you okay? I'm in a movie theater right now." If I wasn't okay, he would step outside the movie theater. "Are you okay? I'm in a meeting right now. I'm in a board meeting." And I've had him step outside board meetings and walk me through, talk me off the ledge of something, because I was a fucking whack job newcomer, right? So that's what I loved about him. So I wanted what he had. I wanted something in my life that I could dedicate myself to, that I could connect to like that, and connect with people like that. I wanted that kind of strength. So, that being said, I remember the first time I did my first 5th step with him, which is step 5, admitted to God, to ourself, and to another human being, the exact natures of our wrongs. And our wrongs are on that 4th step. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of this. I've been selfish, jealous, possessive, all that stuff. But mine was a little different because I really didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I had this purge list. It was like I wrote down all the things that I felt guilty about. And that's a start, right? It was a start into learning how to pick this up, and because this is going to save your life right here. That'll save your life. Promise you. If you work these steps, you will become sober with this. If you at least try to do what I'm explaining to you guys, you're going to survive this with a willingness to not drink and use drugs again. So I have this list of, I harmed this person, when I was 17 or 18 years old, and I robbed this person. I stole this, I stole that. Cheated on my wife numerous times, and she didn't have money for groceries, and I was out spending it on, whatever, partying. And I've been a bad father. It was more like a confession. And that's okay, because that shit's got to come off your fucking chest. All that stuff that's got you bound up when you're new, or even, if you got 20 years, there's people that got secrets for 20 years, and they got to get them off their chest because they might drink again. I don't have any secrets with this guy. So there's nothing that I'd be afraid to tell him. So nothing, not one thing. He knows me like a book, and I know him like a book. So it was like a purge list. It was like a confession, and I got all that stuff off my chest. And he didn't say anything. He didn't say you did it wrong. I was like, did I do this right? And I don't understand the columns with the resentment thing. He goes, you did it perfectly. There's nothing, you can't do it wrong as long as you did it. And we were in Laguna Beach, and where I read the list to him was kind of like in this, on the beach with a table. It was right on the sand where you would picnic, but it was like during the week at like 3 or 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And he made his time from work. He drove. You know what? It was in the morning. And now I remember it was in the morning after the morning meeting, because I remember being nervous in that meeting. And he was dressed really nice, and I don't know what, if it was a weekend. It was probably during the week. And he didn't say, hurry up, I got to get to work, or anything like that. And I remember we walked along the boardwalk, and then he goes, all right, let's do the 3rd step prayer. We talked a little bit, and he talked to me. I don't really remember about what. We've had so many conversations, but we got on our knees just off the boardwalk, like where there was some sand or grass, and we held each other's hand, and I felt so weird. I remember going, oh my God, like this is so weird. And people are walking by, and we're on our knees doing the 3rd step prayer. And I just recently did that with another guy in Palm Springs, when I was in Palm Springs a few months back. You learn to not be ashamed of your beliefs. You learn to not be ashamed of what is saving your life. So it's touches me deeply, man, to remember, think that back. And I remember he told me, and it's in the book. He goes, first thing he asked me before I read the list, he said, are you and your God listening? And I was like, why the fuck is he asking me if me and my God are listening? Of course I'm listening. But because the step is admitted to God, to ourself, and to another human being. And every time I would read him an inventory, he would say the same thing, are you and your God listening? And then he would say, go, okay, go ahead. Are you and your God listening? And steps are a beautiful thing to do with another human being who you're on the same path with, who God's put in your path, had you guys cross paths, and for whatever reason. And this guy and I have some history. It became, a sponsorship has become a friendship. And he texted me last week or earlier this week and said, I love you. You're my friend, and I love you. And that was all the message said. So So I love him, and he's been a big part of my life. The relationship I have with him is super special. And so I'm going to try to stay on step 5 here and wrap that up. But he said, go home, get the book down from the shelf, review the first 5 steps, or the first four, I think it says review the first 5 proposals. Ask yourself if you've omitted anything. And if you have, call me back up and let me know what that is that you've omitted. And I didn't have anything that I thought I left out. I just cut it loose. And he said, then do the 7th step prayer. Or first ask yourself, God, because step 6 and 7 go together, okay? I'm fucking this all up, but so he had me go home. He had me review the first 5 proposals. Then he had me ask God and ask myself, am I willing to have you remove these defects of character from me, God? And I said yes, and then I did the 7th step prayer. My Creator, I'm now willing that you should have all of me, the good and the bad, everything on this list, all the good parts of me and all those defects, all those things that I've done. I'm now willing that you could have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you remove from me every single defect of character on that list that stands in the way of my usefulness to you, God, and my fellows, my friends, the people out in the world. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. Amen. And 5, 6, and 7, man, we just did it. I mean, that's it. So you knock out 3 steps in one day. And I was kind of cool. I thought that was cool because it took me forever to do my 4th, right? Write all that shit down, nervous. Should I put this? Should I tell him about this? It was sweating, nervous. Is he going to judge me? It's like this high pressure step, right? And then by the end of the day, I'd completed 7, and I'm like, fuck man, I'm like fucking rolling through these steps, right? I'm kicking ass. It's a wonderful thing. And that was my beginning into AA and the inventory and trusting that guy. So trust is huge. Trust is huge. And about that, man, he's very sick right now. He's got a couple of different things going wrong. He's cancer free right now, but he does chemo every couple of weeks or every couple months, and he gets super sick. And he's got another illness that has different stages, and he's now entering the final stage of that illness. And I want to tell him what to do, and everybody's telling him what to do, and because everybody cares about him. He's got this group of people that just love him to death, like I do, and they want to tell him how to live out the rest of his life. And the hardest thing is to love somebody enough to not do that, to not tell them what to do and how to live out their life, because this guy watched me go through so much stuff, and he never told me, you need to do this, you need to do that. He knew I was on a path, my own path, with my own God, doing my own thing. And who am I to tell someone how to live their life? It's their life. Who am I to manage someone else's life? It's their life. And I can't even manage my own. That's why I'm in a 12-step program. So that's been very difficult, but I think I learned the lesson well. And it's a difficult thing when we get into relationships. We want to run other people's lives. I do, my first instinct when I get into fear. I remember getting into fear in a relationship. Oh, I'm going out with the girls tonight. No, I don't think that's a good idea. You should stay home. Fear, afraid. So trying to not run anybody else's life and not run my own is it's a pretty big job for a control freak, and I've only learned how to do that through this program. So that's it. So that's it for step 5, 6, and 7. I'll still do, I'll still do a video on 6 and 7, but probably be a real short one. You guys have a great Thanksgiving. Subscribe to my video, give it a thumbs up, because I fucking forgot to tell you in the goddamn beginning of it. Oh my God. I'm the worst at this, in making videos, but hopefully there's a person out there getting some kind of help from these things, and I think there is. I've only posted my step stuff, I'm only posting it on YouTube. So all my other videos on TikTok get a lot of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 views and stuff like that. I don't get many on YouTube, but that's okay. I've been shadow banned, and I believe I have been shadow banned for telling the truth about fentanyl and the crisis at the border. We have a huge crisis at the border. I lost my son Brandon Brown to an accidental fentanyl overdose September 20th of 2022, and he lost his life in a CVS parking lot in Long Beach, California, and I'll never forget the day I got that news. Fentanyl is the #1 leading cause of death in the United States right now, between the ages of 16 and 45 years old, which is the wheelhouse for production in our country. It is an all-out war that China and the Sinaloa cartel have put out on the United States, and the Biden administration is doing absolutely nothing about it. So they've got wide open border policy, and the fentanyl is pouring through our border and killing our American youth. My son was one of them. So be careful, you guys, if you're still drinking and using. If you know somebody who is suffering from abuse, alcohol and drug abuse, shift them my way. Show them some videos. See if they need help. Try to love them, because they're hard to love when we're in our disease. We're really difficult people to love when we're in the grips of our progressive illness. Try to love them and try to get them some help, point them in the right direction, and then back off and pray. God is huge, man. God got me sober. Let them know that sobriety is possible for anyone. So thank you for your support, and you guys have an awesome Thanksgiving.